Greetings, patriots, Starseeds light workers, and of course our very brave military and galactic brothers and sisters who are on humanity's side. Welcome to 1776 United, and we're in a worldwide and galactic revolution. Now, what I wanted to do is kind of go over some things that I missed, and right now, like I says, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I kind of had a hunch for all these electric car owners that I see. Absolutely, they're driving them everywhere. They're going to probably be obsolete in about 1 to 2 years. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about the car market for a while here and touch on it. They have right now have so many cars in car lots, and they keep shipping them over from wherever in Asia over to car dealers in Canada, the United States, and they can't sell them, and they're just stockpiling, and they're having to move the cars off of the car lots into holding, actually renting land to and get them fenced off, and then have security on them to hold these new cars. There is just such a, these car manufacturers don't seem to want to stop. They're just, they keep on pushing them out and pushing into the car dealers. And when those car dealers get filled up, they get new locations. And it's kind of like like a sea of McDonald's, but it's in the car business, the car sales business. And, now they had this new thing. When that wasn't working, of course, they're pumping all this lithium battery vehicles out there, and you see every third vehicle, out there now in Canada, even, where it's cold weather, except for the Lower Mainland, but it's cold weather in Canada. You see these electric vehicles everywhere, and they're not standing up, and they're popping these all these electric stations. Popping them up everywhere for them to plug in and charge up. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. I mean, sitting in one of those cars is like sitting inside a microwave. I'm going to tell you that right now, and I'm going to tell you the reason why they're going to get out of the electric cars is because the electric cars are killing you. They're killing all the electric car drivers and the passengers that are inside. And then when you're sitting there, having your coffee in the morning, charging up your car, you're getting microwaved. That's the truth. And I have said this once before. I go back as far when I first saw the electric charging stations pop up in my East Kootenays. That was 2 to 3 years ago. I was just like, whoa, so I took the EMF and I came downtown, and, I started coming across. I turned the EMF on, and it went from, it was 15 in town, but as I got closer, and I wasn't even right up to where the charging station was, I was still 300 feet away, and it was already off the Richter scale. It was already pushing 400 EMFs. Okay, so I know that these cars are basically burning and they're cooking your brains, and they're frying your everything inside you. And that, along with the the Kool-Aid shots, and I'm just going through, basically I went through Aldergrove, and another person's on the sidewalk with people around them. They're dropping like flies, and that's because of all the Kool-Aid shots. It's an absolute carnage and genocide against us humanoids that are out there, and I'm sure glad there has been a lot of patriot intuitives out there that were smart enough to not to take the Kool-Aid, and and now we're living to tell about it. But we're gonna have to witness everything coming down, and it's just like I sounded the alarm on the Kool-Aid back in 2020. I sounded the alarm on the electric cars that were coming out back then and 3 years ago, and I'm sounding the alarm again. And I know that when we're going into Gesara, anything that is going to harm the human body or the mind or the the psychic anywhere, in any way, is going to be eliminated. That I know for sure. And I got confirmation this morning from, and I forget his name, but he's plugged right into NASA and the people and some scientists, and he's tagged on to them. And there's some scientists that are whistleblowers in NASA, but cannot disclose their name. Okay, so anybody that's driving a electric vehicle right now, I would highly suggest you dump it, get rid of it. I know it's not probably nice or a godly thing to sell it to somebody else and let them have the headaches, but this is what you're going to get. You're going to get, this whole thing's going to be obsolete, and everybody's asking, what are they going to go to? Well, we're going to, I've had this vision a long time as well. We're going to go to hydrogen, and hydrogen basically is just water. And they're starting to do them on ships now, and they've been doing it with hydrogen in submarines. Okay, so they have desalinators in the ships that bring in the seawater, and they desalinate that and basically turn that, and then of course they use that water, the fresh water that comes out of the desalinators, and they go into the hydrogen fusions. So from that happening there, that brings the power up, and it's completely clean. Okay, there is no exhaust. I mean, we could still use oil as well. Now, we're not going to be using gas and oil as much because we're going to this. Now, we've got word now that the Saudis, they've accumulated their, trillions and trillions of dollars, to build their economies in the Middle East, and, do all their, lavish cities, and they're extremely well off, but they know it's all coming to an end because they're talking with, Commander-in-Chief, along with the scientists that are, plugged into this Gesara that's coming. And they say and admit themselves they're going to be sending, this is what some of these billions and billions of dollars are being used for, that is going to be invested into the United States. I mean, the United States, along with Russia and China, is going to go to this hydrogen fusion. Okay, so oil is going to be, we're not going to need it. We're going to need it to lube up stuff and whatever have you. But this thing about this idea of having windmills for power and solar system for power, all this stuff is all obsolete. They're dead before they get off the ground. And having these charging stations, you're talking about, this is some serious pollution. And so are the turbines. You know how much oil or gasoline it takes to build one of them, or even how much oil it takes to maintain one of those big ass windmills? I'm going to tell you something right now. If we ever get this fortune put aside, brought into play, and we get the revaluation the way I'm hoping it's going to be, I'm going to be going in and doing some heavy land grabs in the Philippines along that tail end of the Sierra Madres, because they're talking about quarrying in some of that beautiful forest, natural forest that protects two big cities, or not too big. They're not big cities, but they're cities. They're, one's 1 million, and the other one's 2.5 million. So, I mean, they're substantial cities. There's, I would think, 5 to 7 million people in that general vicinity. And, they're going to bring all that down. And if they do that quarry on the tail end of that Sierra Madres, it's going to stop the protection of all the typhoons coming in for that valley. It will. It'll open it right up. That's why they're putting the windmill there. And they're going to, they're sacrificing these typhoons coming in there and ripping the whole ecosystem apart. What God's built, they're tearing that apart, and they're trying to put a windmill up there because they know that heavy winds are up on that high pass to pick up the energy. I mean, this makes absolutely no sense. These are the demonics that are doing this, and they know it. We know it, and we got to stop this. So I'm just telling everybody right now, I am going to be the blowhorn. Based on the information I'm getting, I'm going to continue to be in the blowhorn and fighting for what I think is right. And I just wish I had several $billions so I can start help change the planet, because these are serious issues that we need a whole shitload of money for. And it's basically we're in a war. This war is a war of nutrition, and it's whoever has the most money wins. That's, it and I know it. So I wish Trump or the Alliance or somebody or the QFS would get off their freaking asses and start handing out this money that is fucking owed to us, and let's get this thing going, because we are this whole operation right now, the way things are, is not it's getting worse as we speak right now. We know that the ecosystem itself is very, very fragile, based on all the geological events that are happening. There's a lot of pressure on the Earth's crust right now, and they just had an 8.7 magnitude earthquake in California. And I don't know where it was, but they're worried about tsunamis and all this other stuff that's happening. So, we're going to see more and more of this stuff based on, the amount of solar flashes and the gamma rays that we're getting blasted with, and we have to basically protect ourselves. But first and foremost, we have to be aware of what we're getting ourselves sucked into. The first thing people do, they go out there and there's something, because something's on the shelf. Oh, we got to race out there and get it before the Jones down the street get it. And, without having any thought or any type of critical thinking, they just go out there and purchase the thing. And they'll even go into a $60,000 or $70,000, $80,000 debt just because they can have this shiny new electric car in the driveway. I mean, buses are burning up. And cars are burning up in parking lots. I can't tell you how many cars I've seen burned up, and now they're putting these little electric four-wheel carts. They're kind of like a tricycle type thing in the Philippines. They're like little tuk-tuks, right? And they're all electric. And those are little stupid things. I mean, some of them are from Japan. They're probably okay, but they're lithium battery, and you got to charge them up. And down there, it's a 220, not a 110 like it is in Western or like in the West. It's a 220, so they don't have that wattage split. So therefore, I mean, it's going to charge these things up, ridiculous charge, and they're going to start burning up, which I've seen many, many times. Not to mention all the bikes that are down there that have gone to batteries now. This is not going to last. This cavalcade of electric vehicles are, right now, Gesara will not allow it. I know that for sure. Okay, because it's doing harm to our bodies, to our frequency. Number two, when you start having countries like Saudi Arabia and China and Russia starting to resonate with the with this hydrogen fusion, which is very easy to do. You can almost make these things yourself. That's why they never brought these things out. They are completely ecosystem free. Like they're very friendly. They do not give off any type of gas or whatever. And we should have been running with these things 100 years ago, but we never, because we had these reptilians that have been in control. So we have to wake up to all this. And like I said, I'm at the point right now where once I get down there, and if we do get this, I might have to do some heavy land buying, because this is the only way to stop it. And I would hope that there'd be enough patriots out there to do the same thing in their respective locations. Try to buy it all up. When we do get this pile of money that does come in, and you're starting to do good things, buy land and start, and then protect it. Protect the land and the ecosystem that is in there. And this is the problem we've always had. We've never been able to afford any of this, a lot of this land to protect it, because they've always had us under these false pretense of ownership through mortgages. And it's all been a big sham. They've kept you broke and kept us poor, and this whole thing's got to stop. Anyways, my time is up, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.